Hello everybody, good day to you. Welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you guys are here. I know, I'm super glad to be here. However, regrettably, I have done my customer with this 2010 Chevrolet 5.3 Tahoe a grave disservice. This thing was in for some knick-knacky items a few weeks ago, some maintenance and a couple of repairs, and my customer had requested that I install for them a like a performance hot air intake is what I called it, and I did so reluctantly. This is the unit that I installed. It's a conical high flow filter. We've got a little bit of a heat shield here with some some weather stripping to kind of seal it off, but it doesn't really match the contours of the hood, so I don't know how well that seals. We've got our generic tubing running in straight from eBay land, and of course the clamps and whatnot to connect everything. Mass airflow sensor goes down here, and I mean, it's a pretty straightforward unit. However, I'm not particularly fond of these things because they tend to suck in the hot air from the engine compartment, and that hot air is less dense than ambient air or air that was pulled through the fender opening like the stock units have. And it sounded cooler, and I'm sure it performs just fine, but I really don't care for these generic, like eBay type of aftermarket intakes. And that was the disservice that I had done to my customer. I charged him money to put this on, and I feel very horrible about it. So, in order to make the world right again, I called up our friends at Banks Performance, and I said, hey guys, this is what I did. And they said, Ray, shame on you. You can't be installing those things. That's just not right. That is the problem that's wrong with the world of performance. So what they did is they shipped over the Banks Performance true cold air big filter intake for the 5.3 Chevrolet Tahoe. And that is what we are going to install today. I'm going to undo the disservice and the grave error and judgment and behavior and business practices for that matter. I'm going to undo all the wrongs that I have caused my customer today, and we're going to get this thing back together and in tip-top shape like what we would like to see. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to nudge her in right there behind that red Mustang, and we're going to get this thing back in order, and we're going to up the level of performance capacity of our 5.3 Tahoe. So stay tuned, because this is going to be a very good video. All right, let's get her rocking and rolling here. We've got, first things first, 178,260 approximate miles on the odometer. Engine is started, we're ready to rock and roll. It's still a little warm because they just drove her in here, so we're all at operating temperature. So I'm gonna have to bear with the heat down under the hood for a little while, but I think we can get through this with relative ease. Got our components laid out, powering down. Let's get after it. Now, as with most things that I tend to do, there's always some reaction from the viewers, and there's always some consequence to it. So we're just gonna go ahead and nip that in the butt right now. Now, the reason that I say that is a lot of folks think that things like this are stupid and they're unnecessary, and the stock assembly is just fine and good enough, and they're not wrong. Those stock units are just fine, and they are good enough, and they work, and they filter the air, and there's not a problem whatsoever with having a stock intake unit. But some people like things, and because some people like things, they like to upgrade things. Like, they like their truck, so they want to upgrade their truck, and that's what we're doing. We're doing an elective repair today, or an elective service. We're going to upgrade it. We want to. No one's forcing it on you, no one's forcing it on the customer. This is a strictly consensual transaction, and that's how the free market functions. We operate on consensual transaction. You know, I find it to be quite unfortunate that I even have to make disclaimers such as that, but I've also got to remind myself that we do live in a world right now where people are unsure of a lot of things, and they're upset about a lot of things, and you know, there's instability at large, and people want to be mad. People just really like to be mad, and some people just really like to complain. So that was a preliminary you know, stay in your lane kind of disclaimer, because the reality is this is a YouTube video, and you don't have to be here and you don't have to watch it, and like I said earlier, you don't have to buy performance stuff for your car. You just don't, unless you want to. And if you want to, then by all means do such things, because it is a free market economy, is it not? So anyway, let's get back to the task at hand. Words. That was my coffee on overdrive there. Got the tube removed. Fairly straightforward. This is the mass airflow sensor for the ECU. This vehicle's computer needs to calculate how much air is entering the intake manifold. And it does such things by way of this mass airflow sensor unit right here. If we were to, I got a flashlight here, let's see. If we were to take a peek down inside of that hole on that sensor, you can see those little bits of wire inside of that square opening. See that wire in there? That is the sensing element. What the ECM will do is apply some current to that element, and that element is going to create some resistance on that circuit, and naturally it's going to create heat on that element. As the airflow passes over the element, it's going to cool it off, thus changing the resistance of that circuit. The ECM will monitor the resistance of that circuit, and that's what it uses to calculate the mass quantity of airflow that's going to be entering the engine. And that's how it uses to determine its fueling tables based on driver input like speed, throttle, load, and a few other various factors. And now for the catch. Should you find yourself in a position where you want, desire, or even need a performance type intake such as the one that I'm installing, please visit bankspower.com. There's a link to it down inside of this video's description, and it will take you over to their website where you can input your vehicle and shop for various types of performance products such as the Pedal Monster or the iDash, or some really cool, very large intake filter systems. See the difference in the surface area between the Chinesium unit and the Banks Ram Air unit? That is one ginormous filter assembly for maximum airflow capability, of course. Okay, now in order to get the rest of this contraption out of here, I've got one self-tapping screw that we put in with that bracket last time around, and then two more fasteners down at the bottom of the base. So let's pull these guys all out. There's two of them, and numero tres right over here. I will take my hardware back. Those are good washers. And that one's gone. Never mind, I will not take my hardware back because I lost my washer. It has been consumed by the fender well, never to be seen again. Pull that guy out. There's our hot air sealed air dam business here. I mean, I guess it kind of produces a bit of a barrier for heat, but it's very much ineffective. I mean, there's a huge gap in it right there. I really don't appreciate it. I mean, they work, but man. Okay, taking a look at the goodies on our table. We do not need this. That's the old unit, so we'll put that somewhere else. What we have here is a new box to go in place of this little air dam business there. We can see this one is very sealed, and it also utilizes the factory air ducting through the bottom of the fender and through the side of the fender over here. So we've got two ports for air to come in, and again, we've got a decent barrier so heat can't penetrate. We have a form-fit custom intake tube. So the Banks Ram air tube will go here. It's got a provision for the PCV hose, so that's going to connect in such a location. We've got the lid assembly, which is going to seal off against the air box. And of course, we've got a provision here for our mass airflow sensor. Now, before that intake box can go into position here, I think we need to remove this lower tray right here. So we've got, looks like just 4 10mm fasteners. Let's pull these guys out. Wiggle, yeah. I see it. It didn't go far. That was an error on my part. I knew better, but I did it anyway. Recklessness. It's my own recklessness. And oh, there's the nut or the bolt. Hey, there's that washer I thought I lost forever as well. I wonder if I can reach it. No, long arms. Yeah, no, I can't. Can't reach that. Yeah, it's fine. It can live there. The juice wasn't really worth the squeeze on that one. I was like, nah, I'll leave it alone. Somebody's gonna find it one day and know where it came from. And I think that would be cool. Anyway, let's get this thing lined up with the fastener holes in the bottom of that tray bracketry business. So we're gonna go right here is where she lines up. Yep, all 4 of the holes. The fitment is fantastic on this thing. It's almost like Gale and his team engineered this just with the utmost perfection in mind, because this stuff fits flawlessly and I love it. Okay, impact coming in. Go ahead and tighten these guys down. Last one. Okay. That right there will secure the box to its bracketry, which is factory to the vehicle. So next, we need to take the Banks ram air intake box lid and install the ram air filter over the lid. It comes with a very large hose clamp here, so we're just going to slip it right over that lip and then clamp it down. Kind of wiggle that in, push it down. It is flush all the way around the circumference of the seal, and then we just need to go in with a socket and an extension and put some torque on that clamp. Grab the gun. Nothing crazy on the clamp, it's just a hose clamp. We just need to get enough on there where we can't really twist it, and that tells me we have a good amount of clamping force. It's not going to pop out of there, and that completes the air filter slash intake lid assembly. Okay, next up, we're coming in with the whole assembly. Slip it under that coolant hose. We drop it down into position, and this lid is going to bolt in with a set of stainless steel screws. Hello, darling.
Hello.
I was just missing you, so I wanted to say hi and get you to come over here.
Hi.
Now these screws are unequal length because the boss for the screws are a little thicker on this area here than over here, so the longer screw... No! I see it. So the longer screw goes in the back and the shorter screw goes in the front. And don't lose them, because these are stainless steel screws, and if you were to install non-stainless steel screws, they might rust and it's going to look ugly, and you don't want your performance parts looking ugly, because that would be bad. Reach! Where are you? Oh, got it. There we go. All right, so there's the one that gravity overtook me on. So we're just going to screw this lid down, secure that into position. These, by the way, are, I think this filter is a dry filter. It does not require oiling and cleaning. Well, it requires cleaning, but it does not require oiling like the K&Ns require. However, you can also add a like a pre-filter to the filter, which is, it's like a very fine kind of mesh. I'm trying to think what to compare it to. Pantyhose. Well, we'll compare it to pantyhose. And right now, Banks is going face slap. You just called our intake filter pantyhose. Ray, what's wrong with you? Sorry, guys. I'm in one of those moods. But no, in all seriousness, they do have a sock that will go over their filters that does act as like a pre-filter. So if you get like bugs or leaves or any large stuff, it'll get caught in that pre-filter before it digs its way into the fine mesh of the actual filtration element. Yeah, it's, you don't have to have it, but it's a good bonus add-on for dusty environments and such. So one thing to note about the Banks units is all of the areas where a screw or a fastener goes, they've got a brass insert in there. And because there's a brass insert, you would not be able to use your factory bolts that came with the mass airflow. So they have provided additional stainless steel hardware to fasten down things such as your airflow meter. On these mass airflows, you have to pay attention to the direction of flow. There's usually an arrow that's going to indicate that. So we've got that pointed arrow that way. That means flow flows that way. So this is the proper orientation of this unit. Set it in position, wiggle it some to make sure that the O-ring is sealing. Then we can drop in our fasteners like so and secure them. There we go. It was in kind of sideways weeby wobbly.
Here, I'll help you.
Oh, well, thank you, Purple Glove. Hang on, we're not pointing the right way here. What's his problem? I called you Purple Glove. That's a new one.
Just stick it in the hole.
A-Rod's here from Detroit. Rock City?
It's pronounced
Detroit. Detroit. It's Detroit. He's from the D. There we go. Yeah, Aaron's down to work on some F-350 6.7 diesels because he's the 6.7 diesel master. Former Ford technician of 23 years. He's now on his own, out in the wild, all by himself. There we go, tighten that boy up a little bit. You guys can, at your leisure, check out his channel. It is Power Stroke Tech Talk with A-Rod on YouTube. I will also leave a link to Aaron's channel down in this video's description below the Banks Power link, also found inside of this video's description. There we go. So that guy's tight, not going anywhere. Let's go ahead and fetch our connector. Reconnect you. Nope. Reconnect, please. Why aren't you clipping in? I know it goes there. It's a factory mass airflow. There we go. Had to get past the little tab there. Okay, mass airflow is installed. Lid is installed. Box is installed. Filters installed. Let's go ahead and get all of the plumbing and tubing set up next. And then we can take this thing out for a ride and see how it sounds, feels, performs, etc., etc., etc. All right, we have 3 more large hose clamps also provided with the Banks Power Kit. We've got the tube, 1 bellows boot, and then 1, what do we want to call this? Bushing? No, it's not really a bushing. 1 more mini boot, grommet. It's a big grommet, there we go. This thing, that's gonna slip on over the intake tube, and this is where the throttle body will be sealed up and attached. That clamp's clamping too much. We go slide that guy on. Make sure it's nice and bottomed out. We don't want the tube to slide out of it once we apply clamping pressure to the clamp. So that guy's bottomed out. And we've got, that's a small end, that's a big end. Looks like that one goes right there. So let's go ahead and get the boot on. And I'm gonna make this look good by hiding the screw for the clamp on the bottom of it. So now you will not be able to see it from the engine compartment. Tighten that guy down. We've got 1 more clamp. I think I actually might have an extra. Yeah, it looks like I've got an extra clamp here. It's odd, but I'll take it. Looking good in the neighborhood. So got both clamps, got the boot, and we have the seal for the throttle body right here. So slide that one over and then slip this over the throttle body. And again, got to make sure you get a good seal and make sure your rubber doesn't fold in and then roll, because it will most definitely cause a leak. Here, let's get this some forward click action. Those are ram air clicks for maximum horsepower. We must not forget the PCV hose, so we're going to give that a loop. Plug her in right there, and we've already got a clamp on it, so we'll clamp that down in a moment. This one here, I also would like to hide the the clamp section. So I'm gonna roll that around to the bottom and then we can secure it with the gun. Two-handed operation. Jesus is here. Everybody's here. Except for Dave. Dave's at lunch, man. Dave's not here. Click. Okay, so we've got all but one PCV hose to clamp in position. I think this is ready to rock and roll here. Let me get this done and we're gonna throw my screwdriver. We're gonna fire this thing back up, see how she sounds, and then we'll take it out on the road, see how she runs. Get on there. The little ones are always the hardest, little buggers. There we go. Okay, let's back it up some. I'm gonna head inside and hit the key and restart the engine. Jesus, will you come and provide assistance?
Right here, yes.
Yeah, reach on into this thing and please start the engine for us.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Let's go ahead and slip this cover back in. It goes under the those heater hoses there. Let's pay some mind to this guy. Not in. There we go. Now it's in. Stick that hose back in position. Very good. Oh, fire it up, man. Go ahead. Very nice. Hey, give me a throttle blurb. Let's hear it. One more time. Do it again. Very throaty. All right. Cool beans. Let's power down the lightsaber hood light here. And we're going to take this thing out for a spin real quick and see how she feels, how it sounds. Fail. Unfail. Alrighty folks, we're going to participate in our normal test drive route. We're going to make a series of right-hand turns. We're going to cross over the bridge that's just behind us. That's going to give us an opportunity to open up the throttle, get some full speed going out of it. We can feel how it performs and we can hear how it sounds. I'd say right now I can hear how it sounds, and it's nice and throaty. I think it's toned better than the eBay unit that was previously installed. Okay, looking good. Oh yeah, that sounds great. Oh, I love it. I think this sounds better than the other one did. Nice and peppy, and we don't even have a pedal monster installed yet. This thing's gonna turn out great when we're done building this project. All right, looking good, no traffic. Creep out a little slow and let them pace away from us for a second. Still checking for traffic, we're good. Let's roll into the throttle. And we're 80%, 90, full throttle. Hello, shop. Oh, baby, this is nice. That thing sounds fantastic. It absolutely takes that other intake out to lunch. This is the unit. He's gonna be happy with this. I'm excited. I can't wait to give this thing back to my guy and let him experience the enjoyment of having premium Banks performance products. This is gonna be great. Alrighty folks, I'm just waiting on my red light to let me go forth and proceed. I'm gonna head back to the shop. We're gonna get this one parked. I mentioned earlier we have to talk about a pedal monster, and I think he actually might want to put one of the I-dash gauges in as well. So I'm gonna go back, call my guy, have him return for pickup. We're gonna have a chat about a couple of the other pieces that are components and performance parts he might want. Look at dude's trailer brakes smoking right there. Yeah, his rear wheels were locking up. Anyway, yeah, we've got a couple other Banks performance parts to install on this. I've got to have a convo about that. And that's pretty much going to close it out for this video. So guys, let me know what you think about these Banks performance products in the comment section down below. Tell me about what you think about this Tahoe, and the associated upgrade that we performed today. And again, if you're interested in perusing the Banks Performance catalog, just check the link again down inside of this video's description and at the pinned comment in the comment section, and it will take you over to bankspower.com, where you can input your vehicle and search for what is available for your specific application. So guys, again, and as always, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. One more time, let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Do not forget to engage that like and subscribe button while you're down there. And most importantly, do not forget to have yourselves a fantastic day. See you guys later in a video, in a Banks product, in of Chevy Tahoe performance upgrade, in a transmission.